All right. Welcome to Rocker Skating Podcast News of the Week. We haven't had one of these news of the weeks in a long time because we've been talking about a lot of news as it was happening. But this is for the week of March 2nd to March 9th. Well, March 8th. And we're talking about that because there have been a lot of World Championships withdrawals. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Jackie.
Okay.
Are you still entered at Worlds?
I will withdraw from Worlds when I can. No, I'll still be there, hopefully. But the biggest one that we have seen so far, well, there have been a lot of big ones, but all three of the four Olympic champions are not going to Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Misha Shaidarov was like, see you later. He wasn't even on the list.
He's busy being crowned king of Kazakhstan. The videos are incredible of his ceremonies.
And getting a car and like all of that.
Did you see the one where the woman was standing in front of him and she went like, and she like dropped this rug, unfurled this rug in front of him, and it had like a giant embroidery of his face on it? It was incredible. It's incredible. They're doing amazing things over there.
King of Kazakhstan, Misha Shaidarov. Mm-hmm. So yes, we know that we knew from the beginning he was not going to Worlds. We also knew that Charlene Guignard and Marco Fabri were not going to Worlds from the very beginning because they were also not on the list. But then we got this list, and a lot of people were like, "Oh my God, such and such is going to Worlds." And Michelle and I were literally like, just you wait.
No, they're not.
Just you wait. You know, we had a lot of conversations with athletes when we were in the Olympics. We had a lot of that conversations with other people when we were at the Olympics. And we knew that the list was not going to be what it ended up, what it's going to end up being. But we also know that people change their minds, right? And so nothing was official, withdrawals or not withdrawals, until it was official. And so that's why neither of us, not like Michelle is saying anything on Twitter because that's not what she does, but neither of us have been saying anything about what we heard because it's not for us to say. But just yesterday, Alyssa Liu, who was very much wanting to go to Worlds when we were talking to her and her team after she won the Olympics, decided to withdraw. And I think
she's busy being extraordinarily famous. Like unbelievable, out of this world superstar overnight.
I don't think we have had a figure skating phenomenon quite like Alyssa Liu since Michelle Kwan, really.
Yeah. We definitely haven't had one in the like social media age.
Absolutely not. Like the fact that she has now 7 million Instagram followers is out of control. Out of control. So props to you, Alyssa, because, people talk about the 15 minutes of fame right after the Olympics. I think her fame is going to be a lot longer than 15 minutes, especially given that she's got this great following now.
Yeah.
Like people know her name. People in mainstream media know her name, and it is quite amazing. And we're talking about the U.S.
My neighbor told me that she had withdrawn from Worlds. I was like, number one, how do you know who she is? Number two, how do you know before me? He's like, I got an ESPN alert on my phone. I was like, whoa, all right.
I totally thought that your neighbor had withdrawn themselves from Worlds.
My neighbor told me about Alyssa.
so Alyssa, no Worlds for Alyssa, and no Worlds for Rikumira Richikihara. That one I knew the day that they won the Olympics.
Yeah.
But it was not something I could say to anybody. So when I saw them on the list, I was like, haha, that's funny. So 3 of the 4 are out. Fournier, Beaudry, and Cicerone are still in.
Yeah.
And as far as we know, they were saying at the Olympics that they wanted to go to the Worlds. Like that was
Well,
very,
yeah,
very
they
obvious.
haven't been to a Worlds together yet.
Right.
So, and we know from Olivia Smart's podcast, she mentioned that Guillaume was at the rink. So I guess they're training.
Yeah. So those were the three really big ones, and then there were some other big ones too, or well, four of the really big ones, and then there were some other big ones too, including Conti Machi and Luna Hendricks, both of whom were dealing with injuries at the Olympics, and it was very likely that we weren't going to see them, and they will not be going. And we talked about this with Conti Machi, Michelle, where it's now up to Caldara and Maglio because neither of the Italian pairs, Rebecca Gilardi, Filippo Ambrosino, were not even on the original list because Rebecca right after the free skate told me that she was like, yeah, we're not going. And also like I think she's doing some like media for Italian television in Prague. So like there was no way she was even going.
She is booked and she is done. Booked and busy.
Done.
Yeah.
So I'll see her in a different capacity in Prague, which will be fun to see.
Cindy saw Sarah Conti in Val de Femme, where she's working on Paralympics, and Sarah was up there for, the events ostensibly. So I think she's still involved in the Paralympic festivities, and hopefully resting her knee and, getting ready for next season.
And this is, we've mentioned Cindy a few times. This is Cindy Shea, one of the NBC researchers. So
she's actually the camera blocker, but she does a lot of research too.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. So very interesting to see all of these. Not at all surprising that we're seeing withdrawals. I am pretty certain we're going to get more as the next couple of weeks go on. And I think there's a lot that folks are wondering about, like, all these fans bought tickets because they were expecting these people to be there. Like, how does this necessarily affect the actual competition? And, the hosts, right, who's done all this, the host knows. Like, if you're post-Olympic Worlds, you know that there are going to be a lot of withdrawals. We don't see that many Olympic champions going to the post-Olympic Worlds because of the actual things that they are now sort of required to do and sort of feel the obligation to do. And also you can't miss the opportunity to capitalize on this.
Yeah. I agree. I think there are going to be a few more withdrawals. You mentioned Charlene Guinard and Marco Fabri earlier. I saw a little interesting tidbit from an interview they did where they said that they were withdrawing from Worlds so they could rest and start preparing for the next season.
Yep.
That is news to me that they are going to do another season. I don't know if that's confirmed, but that's what they said.
That's what they
said. The time we work on our programs. I'd love to see them, but I don't know if they're up to it. I don't know.
It'll be interesting.
That's a long career in ice dance.
We will certainly be keeping an eye out for retirement announcements over the next few months because they are bound to come. But also, Alyssa Liu today said that she will be continuing next season, and she has said it before. I think at Four Continents, when she was doing an interview or something, she was like, "Oh, I'm so excited to be back next year." Oh no, it was Grand Prix final. She was like, "I'm so excited to be back next year." So like, she was already thinking about continuing to skate even before the Olympics was happening. So
Alyssa, in a weird way, enjoys competing a lot more than I think a lot of other people do. So not going to miss out on that fun.
I feel like she's, it's like it's sort of like sometimes when people graduate from college and they're like, I didn't have the college experience, and then they go back and do grad school, and all of a sudden they're like loving it because they're reliving their college experience. This feels a lot of like that for Alyssa.
Yeah. I hope she does some fun touring over the summer too. Not just Stars on Ice. I hope she gets to do some international shows and
I mean, there's going to be
yeah.
so very much
Hey,
demand for her.
can you believe how well the Stars on Ice tour is selling? It's like almost totally sold out. It's incredible.
The Alyssa Liu effect.
Yeah, seriously.
Absolutely. I mean, the Olympics has been very big in the U.S. And the addition of the thing that apparently U.S. audiences have been waiting for.
Yeah, I find it so annoying because we have
I
had
know,
incredible
I
men's
know,
skaters and absolutely incredible ice
I
dancers.
know.
And we have a woman win, and all of a sudden it is like, oh my gosh, just like fireworks. Everyone is going crazy over this. Um,
It's really
I mean, there are
something.
other disciplines that matter.
I know. They all matter. They all
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah. I mean, some matter more than others to me.
Well, that was news of the week
Hmm.
for the week of March 2nd to March 9th. And we'll be back next week for more news and likely more withdrawals happening. Welcome to the Rocker Skating Podcast. Junior Worlds is over, and that means we're talking about one last competition to go in this
Hmm.
marathon of a season. And we just had a marathon of a Junior Worlds. Hi, Michelle. How are
Hi.
you?
Hi, Jackie. I've been watching a lot more skating than I expected to be at this point in the season, but here we are.
Same.
Yeah.
We had what was billed to be 51 women's short programs, which ended up
Hmm.
being 50 because we had one withdrawal.
Hmm.
Not that that really changed much in terms of the amount of time we were spending watching the Olympics, or sorry, watching the Junior World Championships. Incidentally, I was also watching Olympic replays in between all these Junior Worlds programs because I just can't get enough, apparently.
Hmm.
But we had 50 women's short programs, we had 43 men's short programs, we had 30 rhythm dances, and we had 18 pairs short programs. It was a lot.
It was a lot of Ricky Martin and it was a lot of Backstreet Boys.
Backstreet Boys.
You know that Backstreet's back.
All right. All right. And
Yeah.
the thing about the Ricky Martins and the Backstreet Boys is
Hmm.
not just that there were many of them. It was that they just coincidentally happened to have gone back to back
Yeah,
multiple
so many
times.
times. So many times. Even in the last group, the like second and third last skaters, like both skated to Backstreet's back. Everybody.
I just, I next year when they have the waltz, hopefully they'll have the waltz.
Oh, please, please.
Uh,
Although,
uh,
weird little rumor that came out of Junior Worlds is one of the ice dancers, I believe it was Amber Perrier Giannassini, was talking about how the Golden Waltz is not going to have key points next year. It's just going to be GOE only.
I saw that. That'd be interesting. The thing about key points, though, is we'll have more discussion about this if and when we don't actually have key
Yeah.
points. But the thing about key points for me is that you end up really focusing on four very specific
Mm-hmm.
things. And therefore, to get those levels called, you
Mm-hmm.
are really, as ice dancers, you're always
Mm-hmm.
optimizing for levels. You're always optimizing
Yeah.
for points. You have to focus on those specific four
Yeah.
things before you focus on the entire pattern, which in some ways it's a little bit of a detriment, right? Because
Yeah.
you get the GOEs from the actual pattern itself, but you get the levels called for these four particular steps or turns.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like for them to focus more on the pattern and connecting to the music than the key points. However, I am afraid that they're going to do something like put the key points in the criteria for the element, and we're going to get a ton of Golden Waltz exclamation point. Like everyone's going to have an exclamation point.
Well, GWBs, there are going to be a lot of
Yeah.
GWBs.
Yeah.
George Washington's Golden
Uh-huh.
Waltz. Golden
Yeah.
Waltz. Well, should we start with the
Yes.
dance since
Let's
we are
go.
talking about dance?
It's a great dance event.
It was, but you know what was interesting?
Mm-hmm.
And I want to hear your perspective on this because when I saw Aboian Veselukhin's
Mm-hmm.
Vogue at the Junior Grand Prix final, I was so enamored by it.
Yeah.
And then when I saw it here at Junior Worlds, I was like, this is not the same program. Like it felt like it
Yeah.
was different energy, different whatever.
It
I don't know what you
definitely,
thought.
yeah, I definitely think they didn't perform it to their maximum ability. There was a little scratchiness. There wasn't like, I think the freedom in their movement. I felt like they were almost off time a little bit
Yeah.
in their rotational lift at the end. I feel like she didn't get her leg all the way around him, so she was like just hanging on. Yeah, it was not their best performance of it. I also think that they are very, I feel like Hana Boyan is this like baby diva glamazon. She has so much performance energy. And the Grand Prix final had this huge arena of people just eating it up. And Junior Worlds was a little different. It was a
Yeah.
smaller venue, less people in the audience. And I think that might have also impacted their performance a little bit. Their free dance, though, I think was really strong.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did think Vogue for me was a little frenetic. Like it was a little Gumby in some ways. And like the positions and the structure of their shapes were not as precise,
Yeah.
defined as it has been in other
Yeah.
competitions. And I frankly I thought they should have been like second or third in the rhythm dance.
It definitely, I don't know if I would go that far, but maybe second. I love that French team's Backstreet Boys rhythm dance. It definitely, yeah, it's like, I think it was a timing issue and that, so their positions were getting rushed because the timing was off in a
Yeah.
weird way. I stand by their performance of that program at the Junior Grand Prix final is the definitive Vogue rhythm dance of the season. Period.
You know, I don't disagree with you. I also liked Perry Genesini and Blanc Klamperman's rhythm dance. The one that I loved was Veillon and Brandy's. I thought
Yes.
they were totally underscored.
Yes, they were robbed. And it was like, it was like Daft Punk, like Around the World and another piece. And they were just so in the rhythm of it. And just their choreography was so good. Mark was saying on the broadcast, that Mark Henry, that it should have been like a 10 for composition or like the best score of the event for composition, maybe not a 10. But I absolutely agree with that. I think the program construction and the way that it was like choreographed to the music, it
Yeah.
was really, really satisfying.
And they skate big. They really
Yeah.
they remind me a bit of Hubble Donahue at their best in terms of like how like they have such a they make a lot of times the ice makes skaters look small because it's such a huge rink, and I feel like they actually fill out the ice really well, and their aggressiveness and the way that they step into things is just so good.
Yeah.
That was my thought.
Yeah. It's like there's kind of an efficiency to their movements that allow them to put more energy into sort of the dance movement and just the musicality. They don't need to do too much work because they just kind of fly around.
Yeah.
I feel terrible saying this, but I kind of think they should have been third here. No offense to the Ukrainian team who seem lovely, and I'm just not crazy about that Moulin Rouge free dance.
I think they the top four were the top four, right? Like I think those were the four that should have been in the top four. This is why I was saying I think I would have had Aboian Veselukhin second or third, in the sense that I would have had the French and the Canadians above them in the rhythm dance. I think overall, if you took their free dance into account, they absolutely won this one.
Yeah.
The free dance was definitely the class of the field. Yeah, I mean, some
God,
of
it's
those
Nike.
that lift is just so epic, right?
Oh, at the end when she has her leg up behind her and she's just like, yes. Oh, that was great. The big musical accents in that program and the way she hit them, Hana Maria hit them with such definition in her body. It was like really, really exciting. And
It was
Yeah.
the opposite of what we saw in the rhythm dance, where I was talking about kind of Gumby, right? Like the positioning was very, very good, very strong and it was like we were seeing two different teams from the rhythm dance to the free dance. I love her skating. I think she
Yeah.
is the star of that team
Yeah.
for sure.
They're very Grishik and Platov. Very, very Grishik. I'm so excited that they're American and we have them in the US and they're so good. I'm so excited to see where they go. They are she's only 15, right? So they have another
They have another
year.
year.
Let's say her birthday is in May. So they have another year of junior. I think these other three teams are eligible to move up. I don't know if they're all going to, but they're eligible.
Yeah, yeah. I think Pegana and Koval, the Ukrainians, that they they get their points and their excitement from the crazy lifts that they do, and the craziness of also their twizzles, right? I think those two are the standouts for them. I also tend to agree with you on the Moulin Rouge was it, like I think it's for me the fact that they're using Moulin Rouge the musical,
Yeah.
and Moulin Rouge the musical is such a hodgepodge of random songs, like even more so than
Yeah.
than
So
the movie,
random.
even more
Yeah.
so than the movie. That like you're like what's going on?
Yeah.
What is the story that we're telling
Yeah.
right now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Tarzan though, Tarzan was good.
Oh, God, I love the Tarzan program. It was a cool idea and they just executed it so well. I am such a big fan. I mean, I'll go on and on about this, about the Lyon School and the work they're doing there. I mean, every team that comes out of there, I love their material. I love their style. I'm a big fan. And I
Yeah.
think they're doing, yeah, amazing things.
I do think that as overall basics, Perrier Giannassini and Blanc Klopperman, I feel like sometimes outskate Aboian
Yeah.
Veselukhin. I think their edge quality is superior. I think Aboian and Veselukhin skate bigger.
Yeah.
So it's evenly matched in some ways. They both have their strengths, and but I don't think there's one who is absolutely stronger than the other right now.
Yeah. It was a fun little rivalry this season.
Yeah,
The Perry Giannassini and Blank Klopperman, I think they said that they haven't decided yet if they're moving up, but if they do, please invite them to Skate America. Just putting my request out there.
I mean the French ice dance field is getting deeper and deeper.
We had 3 French teams at Skate America this past year. I was a very happy girl. So,
That was ice dance. It was it was a fun event. I really liked a lot of those different and also some of the creativity of the earlier teams I loved. Like
was it the Spanish team you posted with that leg accent? That was
it
so
was
cool.
it was
Yeah.
it was there's a Grunberg and
Lara
Gonzalez.
Sundberg, Hector
Sundberg.
Gonzalez Elvira.
Sundberg and Gonzalez,
Yeah.
that their choreo lifts or their choreo hydroblade
Yeah.
was so fun,
Yeah.
and such a departure. And you saw that with some of the earlier ice dance teams, where it
Yeah.
wasn't just that they were trying to find different creative ways to do things. It was also that they were doing things in different orders than you'd expect them to. Like, I remember there was like, somebody started with a choreo step sequence, or character step sequence. Like usually you see like with the senior teams, there's a lot of, we're going to do all the big elements and then we're going to do the last 3 and it's the 3 choreograph
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Not that that's always the case, but you see that a lot.
It just gets formulaic.
Right.
Yeah.
And I thought the earlier teams, because they're trying to at least differentiate themselves a little bit, they were trying some different things. And I love that for ice dance.
I also love the Spanish team doing a Big Bad Voodoo Daddy free dance, especially in the year of the 90s music. So they have 2 90s programs. That's fun.
I did find that these teenagers doing 90s programs were even more out of place than
Oh God,
the
yeah.
20 somethings doing
So
90s
weird.
programs.
Yeah, it's so weird.
I'm like, you have no idea what we
Yeah.
were doing in the 90s
Yeah.
as teenagers, but I guess that's also what happens, like,
Yeah.
for the
It's
history
lost
of,
to time.
yeah,
Only we remember.
the history of figure skating has been
Mm-hmm.
people skating to music that was not of their generation.
Mm-hmm.
So it just so happens that the 90s were our generation when
Mm-hmm.
we were teenagers. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why I have such a visceral reaction
Yeah.
sometimes. Okay, pairs. Pairs was a mixed bag. And
Yeah.
it was a general sort of mess, especially in the freak skate. And I don't know. I'm of two minds about
Mm-hmm.
the junior pairs. On one hand, it's like, yes, they are juniors, and it's
Mm-hmm.
great that they are they're trying new things. They're putting difficulty out there that they want to be putting out before they become seniors.
Mm-hmm.
All this and all that. On the other hand, like with like Herrera and Kopta, for example,
Mm-hmm.
they were doing throw doubles because they're not ready for throw triples, and
Yeah.
we were seeing some throw triples that were like, no, you're not ready for those yet.
Yeah.
So, it's that question of like, do you do really nice throw doubles, or do you go and try a messy triple? And for a long time in senior skating, when the IJS first started, we were seeing a lot more clean double twists because there was a long sort of regrouping period for pairs to basically relearn the twist and do
Yeah.
them differently than they used to do them. So I don't know. I'm of two minds.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a mess.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. It was a mess.
I mean, Ruo Zhang, their free skate, like, but I will say, quad twist to open level 3. That's a positive. I love seeing this brand new Ukrainian team. I think he's only the guy is Ukrainian, but I love seeing them like getting on the podium with
Yeah.
relatively clean skates. And then Kieran Thrasher is an incredible name. He's been on the junior circuit for a long time. Every CM, I'm like, yes.
Yeah, Kieran
That's great.
Thrasher.
Yeah.
I mean, what was interesting was Kemp Elizarov, Desrochers and Thrasher, Herrera Kopta, Flores and Wang. They all have something of like an early senior look to all of them. They skate bigger. They are a little bit older than some of the others, right? And so, Kemp and Elizarov and Flores and Wang were both on the senior circuit this year and skated there. So you saw the difference in power and maturity with some of those teams.
It's the first time in history there have been 2 Canadian pairs on the Junior Worlds podium.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I can't believe that Skate Canada isn't blowing up all of my social media. I just look at that now. That's crazy.
And
Well, it was always like Soviet teams. It's like they
Yeah.
could never get more than one medalist.
And the first junior world title for a Canadian pair since 1978, and it was Barbara Underhill and Paul Martini.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah. Talk about, Canadian legends.
Yeah.
Underhill and Martini for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
All I can remember is, speaking of teenager in the 90s, all I can remember is them being like, here's the leap of faith. And I'm like, oh my God, what is the leap of faith? And it's her basically like diving into his arms.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Go, if you don't know what the leap of faith is, go watch Barbara Underhill and Paul Martini do that in a professional competition. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Also a little scary.
Uh-huh.
But Herrera Kopta, I love them. I think they have such a strong future ahead for them. Hana Herrera, by the way, was U.S. women's junior singles for a few years, and so they've teamed up, and now they're representing Ukraine. She looks like a natural.
She's from Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
She might have a hometown Olympics in a few years.
Yeah. Time for citizenship talk already.
Yeah.
4 years. 4 years
I don't think
before.
it's that hard for Ukraine to get Ukrainian citizenship. I don't think it's too bad.
Different. Really different. But yes, Kemp and Elizarov win. They were Shea and Thrasher second. Herrera Kopta third in the pairs. The
These
men
kids have had a long season.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about our very first podcast episodes.
Yeah.
Felt like 5 years ago,
Yeah.
and it was like, what, August, September of 2025. They were already competing. They were already like at their peak, and they have to like peak again now. Which, it's been a long season, and also, we talked about this in the preview. These junior skaters, a lot of the times, really develop during the season, and you see them change right before your eyes.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting, and it goes to show, right, the actual amount of improvements you can make during 6 months, whether you're a junior or a senior. But you see it more with these junior skaters because they really are just maturing as we're seeing them. Okay, men. What a battle.
Yeah.
What a battle.
Yeah.
It didn't disappoint, the Rio Minkyu showdown was exactly how it was built.
Well, not quite. I feel like I cursed Minkyu a little bit by saying in our preview episode that he has seamlessly integrated the quad sow cow and hit it every time. When he fell, it's like, no.
He was just paying homage to Junwon Cha.
Yeah,
and
he was. Smacking boards.
All the Koreans skaters who jump a little too close to the boards and hit them.
Pose on the boards.
I mean, he was great. I thought his components were a little underscored in both programs. But I think a good season for Minkyu, even though he didn't end up being as competitive as he thought he was going to be for the title. It was also that Rio skated lights out in both programs.
Rio was a beast at this competition.
Yeah.
He was indomitable.
Yeah.
That opening quad sow in his free skate, I mean, that like covered like zip code to zip code. It was huge.
It's a Yuma Kageyama quad sow.
Yeah.
I
mean, I think it's almost that's like Samoylov distance.
Oh,
it's huge.
Yeah. Such a great couple of programs for him. And earlier in the season, we were talking about how he just has had this swagger going on because he was so confident, he was so well trained, even though he was injured early in the season. And then it sort of took a dip. Junior Grand Prix final was like a little bit off. Japan Nationals was not exactly what he wanted, and you wondered coming in if this was going to be early season Rio or if it was going to be mid-season Rio, and it was neither of those. It was a I'm ready for seniors Rio.
Yeah, he was building, and I think his team handled his injury correctly, and he looks great, and I'm really still a little bit salty we didn't get him at the Olympics. I'm still not the biggest fan of the age rule change, but it's over. So I guess we'll see him next fall in senior.
I mean, without the age eligibility stuff, we would not have seen these rivalries go on either.
Well, we might have seen them with other skaters.
But the way that like Rio and Minkyu have been 1, 2, 3 seasons, right? And the way that Mao Shimada and Jia Shin was 3 seasons, and
Poor, oh my gosh, Mao Shimada. Oh. Anyway, we'll get into that.
we'll get into that.
We'll get into that.
We'll get into poor Mao Shimada.
Yes.
That was a
Yeah,
lot.
we will.
That was a lot to watch. But yes, Rio Nakata wins his second consecutive junior worlds. In Kusaw gets second for the second time, and the two of them have been top 2 for the last 3 years. It's been a dynasty in a lot of ways. Jacob Sanchez, once again, the pewter medalist, number 4.
Yeah, I mean, he skated pretty well. Okay, his free skate was not what he's fully capable of, but I think that it was a good effort from him. Yeah.
As I understand it, his quad sows in practice at Junior Worlds were better than his quad sows at Senior Nationals.
Wow.
At U.S. Nationals. So it's a good sign that they're improving because he's going to need them next year. But great that he was able to end his season on a few good notes with U.S. Nationals, with 4 continents, with here skating really well. And, he needs to start next season the way he ended the season, which is you got to do all your triples.
Yeah.
And go work on that triple sow cow that you messed up.
Do a clean free skate if you're only doing triples.
Do some clean free skates, Jacob.
Yeah.
But he and Lucius Gazanecki gets the 3 spots back for the U.S. for the junior men, which is it's a good thing for the U.S. juniors. Taiga Nishino, though.
Yeah, he was great.
We knew that coming in that he was going to be a contender. One, because he's a generally very assertive, like in your face kind of skater, and he showed that. But 2, he has 2 quads, and he landed them.
Yeah.
Even though they were everything was a little scratchy in the free skate, but he did them.
Yeah, he did it. Got it done.
He got it done. He got the base value for it. He was very close to upsetting Min-Kyu for the silver.
Yeah. He was.
But
he was very close. Uncomfortably close.
I know.
Yeah.
But that's also my thing around him, about Min-Kyu being maybe a little bit underscored on the components. I thought Taiga versus Jacob, Taiga versus Min-Kyu, the PCS should have been a little bit larger in terms of the gap. Same thing with Ha-Bin Choi. We're seeing the 2 guys who have all the big quads getting components that maybe were just a little bit too high here relative to everybody else, right? And they were generally fairly stingy with components at Junior Worlds, with the exception of Rio.
You're if you're lucky, you get a 7.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Ha-Bin Choi.
Yes, please.
So there's a Meatloaf album. It's called Bat Out of Hell 2, Back into Hell. And I don't know if I've ever heard the album all the way through, but that title, that is how Ha-Bin Choi skates. His jumps, he attacked so hard, and he's just I'm out here jumping like crazy.
Yep.
I mean, and like Mark said, it was you can tell how much he enjoys jumping. I mean, it was almost Trusiva-esque. It's let me get to my next jump, and it's going to be huge. It was very, I think you mentioned this, it was interesting for a Korean skater because they usually have a lot more detail and focus on components, the presentation, and, the skating skills. And he was nope, I'm jumping. Just hold that thought, I'm going to jump.
Yeah, what's interesting about it is that because he grew up in the Korean system, that his basics are still pretty good.
Yeah.
I just don't think he, in his mind, as he's doing these programs, that's what he's necessarily being I'm gonna really get my whatever. But he has enough of a solid foundation that he can go through with it.
Yeah.
But agreed. Like I don't, as great of a jumper as he is, he's not there yet with choreography. He's not there yet with presentation.
Yeah, I don't
And
think he wants to be bothered. He has jumps to do.
I do wonder how he develops over the next couple of seasons as well, because you bring jumps like that and you're in the conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
There were some really good programs also, just like if you look down the list of like some really great skaters that some of whom were, I think, lowballed on components. People like Luka Emedashvili. I don't know if you saw him in the short program. He had this just incredibly charming short program that he was totally lowballed on for components, and he should have made the free skate.
Lithuania.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
wow. It was choreographed by Kirill Khaliavin.
oh
I'm gonna
wow,
watch that.
there
Yeah.
you go. Ian Wheeler was
Oh, he is a
great.
beautiful
Matthias
skater.
Lindfor was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of these junior guys who are artists at heart, and performers at heart. Loved seeing those in the junior ranks.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think those men. It was a generally pretty good competition.
We need to talk about Yanhao Lee of New Zealand.
Well, we should.
This kid can jump. He is a beautiful skater. He has such good technique. And I'm completely confused because he has lives and trains in New Zealand coach that I haven't heard of. I'm like, where did you learn this? I mean, I guess you can learn good technique in all kinds of places, but he's amazing.
I want to say something about kangaroos, but that's Australia.
Yeah. Yeah. New Zealand has, I
What do
don't
they
know.
have?
There's they have some kind of,
They have quokkas.
yeah. Yeah. Let's see. They have the kiwi. That's what I'm thinking of. The kiwi is their bird. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. He was awesome. I was very interested in hearing him skating to the male version of I Dreamed a Dream from Les Mis. I was like, I don't know if I've heard this before. Figure skating brings out some of the strangest musical options out there.
I totally thought it was Josh Groban, but it's not. It's some
No,
guy. It's someone named Carl Loxley.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
I'm sure Josh Groban has a cover out there somewhere.
Oh,
as well.
I am sure Josh Groban has a cover of everything. No, he's. I've really liked his skating for a while. He had the breakthrough. What was it 2 seasons ago? One season? Was it 2 seasons ago? He was third at the Youth Olympics. Last year he was 5th at the Junior Grand Prix final. This year was a little bit different for him, unfortunately. And it was good to see him do a good short. Just the free skate just didn't really materialize for him, but hey, New Zealand getting a really good men's skater.
Yeah.
We love it. All right, let's go to the women, and let's pick up the thread of poor Mao Shimada.
So poor Mao Shimada in her 4th junior worlds, because of the age rule, she had a great short program, and then I guess she was really sick at this competition and had just an abysmal practice the morning of the free skate, to the point where some people thought she was going to withdraw, but pulled it together, came out and did a really strong free skate, no quad attempt, but she did a nice triple axel to open. Had a little issue with one of her spins, but very respectable. She is a little warrior and locked down her 4th world junior title, which is crazy. That's an unbelievable period of dominance. She has never finished lower than 1st at an international competition. She has more gold medals, I think, than anyone. That's just out of this world.
It was like me back in the days of collegiate skating, where
Yeah.
I never finished lower than first at I don't know what it was, intermediate program, men's
Yeah.
programs, because
Yeah.
I was the only one competing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I never finished lower than
Yeah.
first.
Get that gold medal, Jack.
But, we're talking about Mao Shimada having been dominant over the past 4 seasons, having really like strong skaters in the junior ranks who were never able to beat her.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah.
Including our current Olympic bronze medalist, Ami
Yeah.
Nakai.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Ami couldn't beat Gia. So it's really interesting. I'm really interested too to see where Mao's career goes from here. I mean, she's definitely moving up next year. She
Right.
said this was her last junior competition. So
Yeah.
we'll see how she transitions to senior. I'm guessing it will be quite well, but I'm happy for her. That had to be just mentally so challenging to be so good and so dominant and unable to progress into another level for so long. And to have gotten through it without getting burned out. Yeah, it's impressive.
Well, she has 4 more years until the Olympics.
Oh,
That's the crazy thing, right?
awful.
4 years of
Yeah.
dominance
yeah.
on the junior ranks, and now she has to wait 4 years for the Olympics.
Well, maybe she can win the next 3 world titles and an Olympic gold. So she doesn't win other color medals. So
Apparently
I mean,
not.
yeah.
Apparently not. But you know who was the highlight for me?
Hannah.
Hannah Bath.
Yeah.
My goodness.
That triple axel, triple toe. It's like she doesn't even set it up. She just steps up into it, and it is like a tornado. I mean, it is so powerful, just out of this world.
Yeah.
I mean, the attack is just incredible. She was great.
I don't like.
Jackie's shaking his head in disbelief.
she was saying something about she's basically been working on the triple axel since she was 10.
Wow.
And so part of why she's so comfortable with it, right, is that this is somewhat becomes second nature for her. And the move to Japan to train has just helped her become a much more all-around skater over the past 2 seasons. And gosh, the first junior world medal for Australia in any singles events or either of the single events.
Yeah.
And I think the first junior world or world medal for Australia.
Nope. They won the bronze in 1976. In pairs.
Pairs, yes.
Elizabeth
pairs.
Kane and Peter Kane. Oh yeah, they won plenty in pairs. Sorry.
Yeah.
We know our teams.
Yeah.
Katya and Harvey, and then
Yep.
Nastya and Hector. Yeah, of course. In women's, I don't think it's their first ever.
First ever for junior worlds. I think also first ever for worlds, like any world, any kind of worlds, junior or senior worlds. So history maker Hannah Bath.
Yeah. She made a good decision moving to Japan to train with Rio and his dad. Yeah.
Talk about a power 1-2 with Rio and Hannah. And she's 16, right?
Yeah. I think she's old enough to move up though. I think her birthday is
March 6th. So she just turned 16. So she has
Oh no, she's another year.
Another year. It's okay.
See, Jackie, it's not the most delightful.
You know what? I'm here for world junior champion Hannah Bath in 2027.
Yeah, okay. I mean, she has nowhere to go but up. So.
Yeah, excited to see where she goes. She's got so much potential, and she's already proving to be a history maker. And then Mayuko Oka, who we were expecting to be the one who could challenge for gold, didn't quite have it. That triple axel
Yeah.
in the free skate was not there. But that short program,
So good. The peacock theme. I'm gonna miss it. I wouldn't mind if she kept it another year.
I know.
I love it. Props to Caitlin Weaver for being just amazing.
So it wasn't Caitlin Weaver,
It
apparently.
wasn't.
It was apparently Kana Muramoto. Caitlin Weaver did her free skate. This
Oh,
was at least
interesting.
what was.
Well, I have
Yeah.
a bone to pick with the ISU then because they have them listed in the wrong order on her ISU bio.
That's why we've been having all these issues, apparently.
Well done, Kana. She was always an extraordinary ice dancer, so I'm happy to see that her skill is translating to choreography as well.
Either way,
Yeah.
Kana and Caitlin are they have this gem, and it's not even like a hidden gem anymore. This is the gem that is there in the world stage, on the world stage, and they have been doing wonders with choreography with her. And she just seems like such a malleable skater in terms of choreography, and that's going to serve her really well as she progresses over the next 4 years. And her jumps are strong. She has some very good foundations in all this stuff. Her jumps are big too, right? She's not one of those junior skaters who you're like,
Yeah. No rotation issues.
yeah, are we going to lose rotation going forward? So hopefully she will continue, and I think she's got another year in juniors. But there was what was interesting about this junior slate was that you didn't see as big of scores as we've seen in the last couple of seasons. Partly because I think that we had a Shinamano technical panel, so a lot of strict calls.
Yeah.
But partially because the judging panel just felt a little bit stingy with their scoring here too. So I don't know if it was necessarily lower depth of the field, but it was certainly there was certainly a little bit of both, I think. Some great skating though, I think, especially I think the short programs had some really good stuff. And the free skates were a little bit more up and down. But it was, portends the future. I think the way that these junior women have been able to progress on the junior level has been really good.
Yeah. I was really surprised by some of the mistakes we saw from, I think, medal favorites in the short program with Mao Kata messing up her combination.
Oof.
And then Yoonsan Kim falling on her triple loop. It was like, no.
Those were two of the ones you expected to be up there.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I mean, if I'm being honest, Mao Kata shouldn't have made the free skate.
Yeah, probably not. That was a big error. Single Lutz, triple toe, under rotated fall.
And a fall.
Yeah.
It was one of those huge errors where she was lucky to have gotten the component scores that she got, because she didn't skate that program the way that she would normally skate it. And so, she made it barely into the free skate and then had a jump from 24th to 10th as we expected from her. But still, this was one of those competitions where you really saw the discrepancy of going early in a lineup. When you're going, first out of 12 on a Grand Prix, it's a different kind of thing than when you're going in the first group out of 51 skaters.
Yeah.
And the judges are like, well, all right, give you some 4s because you're early on, and it translates into this sort of like pattern of, okay, well, the last person got a 4.5, so the next person's going to get a 5.25 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So there were a bunch of triple axels.
Yeah.
Certainly.
That was fun.
Sophie Jolene, Yoonsan Kim,
and Inga.
Inga Gurganidze, Hannah Bath, Mao Shimada, Mayuko Oka tried one, and May Okada was trying one, but then she popped it into a single. But
Yeah.
a lot of attempts
Yeah.
and a lot of pretty good ones that were landed. So
Sophia Schifrin did a really strong free skate. She was just really solid.
both of them.
Big clean jumps, yeah. And I think any other year that would have been enough, probably to get on the podium. But there was just a lot of depth here, and she doesn't have a triple axel. Yeah,
I thought her short program was especially sort of musically well skated. And like, I think along with the men, where we were talking about skaters who have been able to progress as juniors and also find their presentation skills. We got a lot of that here too with the junior women. I mean, you look at like a Ji Yu He and Angela Shao. Some of these skaters who Amanda Getzo was an interesting one too, because she was not ranked terribly high up, but I thought her short program was like, very, very well choreographed and very well skated. Like there's very interesting variety in the talent that we're seeing with the junior women.
yeah, yeah.
Oh boy, Junior Worlds. A whirlwind that was Junior World that felt like it took 3 weeks, but it was only 4 days.
Yeah. It was fun though. It's fun kind of seeing some of these younger skaters and their creative programs, and after the stress and the rigors of Milan. So
well, we're about to head into the stress and the rigor that is Prague and the World Championships in 2 weeks. Excited to start previewing, but we'll take a little bit of a break.
We can't do the preview until we know who's actually going to be there.
Exactly. We'll take a little bit of a break. But in the meantime, there are some fun interviews lined up.
Cool.
Olivia Smart, Tim Deek, I just talked to for a good amount of time.
Yay.
And so we'll have that coming out. We're getting a rocker rewatch for both Dune 1 and Dune 2.
Oh, cool.
So we get to hear their commentary for both of those programs, which is fascinating.
Yeah.
So we'll get that. I got a couple more lined up, and hopefully we'll get those before we get to the World Championships in Prague. Michelle, anything that's top of mind for you?
I didn't mention this, but I loved the 2 Italian junior dance teams that went back to back. Barbara Fusar-Poli had one, and Volta Rizzo had another one. They were very different in their styles, and they were both great. And I was thinking like, wow, Italy sort of not had a lot of depth in their dance program. And I was excited to see those 2 junior teams. And they have the last year's World Junior Champions who are missed most of this season because of injury, but we're there watching, and we'll hopefully be back next year.
Yeah,
so.
Talia and Afanara they should be back next year and as seniors. So
yeah.
That'd be nice.
I also have a heads up for any Canadian Team Canada fans who are in the U.S. Lululemon has a ton of Team Canada stuff available for order in the U.S., but they have the mitten pins. So if you saw the skaters with the mitten pins that they were trading, that you can get them on the Lululemon website. I may have ordered them. I mean, the Olympics are over, but I was like, I need these just for reasons.
I'm curious to see what the pin trading is going to be like in Prague, because I remember even in Montpellier when we were there for post Beijing Worlds, there was still a good amount of pin trading going on.
Yeah.
Not quite to that level of craze. But maybe it was also because it was COVID Olympics and people were like, oh, we can talk to each other again.
Yeah. Junior Worlds might have had some good pin trading going on because there were a lot of unique countries represented here.
Yeah.
kind of want to stand in the mix zone for that 50-woman short program and trade pins with each one that goes by.
You're like, what pins? We don't have any pins.
Kyrgyzstan.
Yeah.
I mean, that's in New Zealand. It's like incredible. Denmark.
I know.
Yeah.
One thing that will be very interesting to watch, in addition to who will remain in the on the entries list for Worlds, is who will be making retirement announcements. We've already had a couple that we know of. Mai Mihara has officially made her retirement announcement, which is very sad. And I'm sure we'll get more. But skating fans, just get ready.
I think we'll also get the soft retirements, as in they don't retire, but they don't show up in the Grand Prix entries. So then it's kind of like, oh, taking a season away.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Some people never retire because it's like they just don't want to.
I mean, the Shibutanis never actually really retired, and then they did come back.
I mean, famously, Ashley Wagner has never retired, so she could always come back.
Ashley Wagner, we're ready for you, and Moulin Rouge version 5.
Yes. I mean, she hasn't done a Moulin Rouge the musical yet, so I think, there's a lot of material there. There's a lot of different songs there.
Nicole Kidman all the way, though.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, well, we're going to take a break. We're going to get some rest. And we'll be back soon. We'll be back next weekend for something. We'll figure it out what we're going to do next weekend. But in the meantime, any sort of updates we will have for you for the World Championships coming up. So for Michelle Ellis, this is Jackie Wong, Chief Skate Nerd of rockerskating.com. Thanks, as always, to John Wilson Blaze for getting us through this marathon of a season, and also getting us through this marathon of a season is Tara Nichols, who have been editing and producing us all season long. We'll talk to you again next week. Bye.